This is Cody, and if you didn't know who I am, my name is Cody Engdahl. I write books about history. Right now, I'm writing a series about the American Civil War. I cook, and I also play the fiddle, and I never know if I start right, so I'm going to start all over again. Hello. Hello there, my friends. I am your good friend Cody Engdahl. Not only am I your local, or maybe global, who knows, historical novelist, but I also cook. And so tonight, I figured since I got everything set up, I have the great honor and pleasure of making the turkey every year for my de facto mother-in-law. And tonight, I'm going to go through some of the steps I do to prep for tomorrow's big meal. Now, I'll tell you this. I'm going to do things. I like to start things the night before because I feel like I don't know. The longer I can get that salt on the meat, the longer it'll help tenderize it. But these things that I'm doing right now, you could do it tomorrow morning too if you get to this video late. So anyway, let's get started. So every year, Laura gets a. Let me put this down here. Laura gets a turkey from Vanderbilt. Laura is a Vanderbilt employee. And one of the perks of being a Vanderbilt employee is you get a free turkey every single year. And so it's fantastic because I cook them, and we usually have them for Thanksgiving. And then with the leftovers, we pull all the meat off, and we save it in portions. And then throughout the year, Laura makes turkey pot pie, or as we adorably call it, perky pot pie. Where am I sitting? Okay. So tomorrow I'm going to cook the turkey, but tonight I'm just going to prep it. And by prepping it, I'm just going to rub it down with some spices and some butters. I mean, the biggest thing is salt. I want to get some salt on it, you know. And so it's going to sit in the refrigerator. I'll probably start cooking around 8. We're gonna eat tomorrow. I don't know if this is a Southern thing or if this is a Reinhardt thing, but Laura's family eats Thanksgiving dinner. I know other people do this too, actually. Laura's family eats Thanksgiving dinner at like noon. Like their Thanksgiving dinner is more like lunch for them, or lunch for me. That's fine. Our plan is we're going to have Thanksgiving dinner at her mom's house. And then we're going to come back to my place. She's got like all these free channels from Xfinity. So we're going to watch John Brown. I'm really excited about that because I think it was only a matter of time somebody did a series about John Brown, because before the Civil War was kind of like a practice war in Kansas called Kansas Bleeding. It was brutal. The pro-abolitionists and the pro-slavery people crowded into Kansas to take control over this over the state because at that time they had, what do they call it, popular sovereignty, which meant popular. Okay, I'm not going to try to say it. But anyway, states at that time coming into the Union were going to be able to decide if they were going to be slavery or not. So both sides wanted Kansas on their side because at the moment before the war, there was always an equal number of slave states and non-slave states, and the slave states were worried that if there was enough non-slave states that they could enact a law and abolish slavery. So they fought in Kansas for like 10 years before the Civil War started. And that's where John Brown got his start. He was a famous or infamous guerrilla fighter using brutal. He was a Christian minister. But he ended up being hanged for his actions at Harper's Ferry, but he's considered by many to be a martyr. Okay, we got some guests. Okay, Lewis O'Neill says, "You go, Cody Engdahl. I love you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family." Same to you, Lois. I love you too. Lloyd, all right, yes. And Joyce, I was hoping you would redo your turkey recipe. You know what? I thought about it, and I was thinking that I might not do it, and I was like, nah, I'm going to do it. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is just rinse off the turkey, and like I said, this is I think this is 13.5-pound bird. I don't even know if this is even, well, I'm not going to say that. We're going to do it. We're going to rinse this off here. just to make sure there's nothing nasty sitting on there. And if there is, hopefully all that nastiness will all the bacteria and all that will die when we properly cook it fully. All right, let's see if there's any giblets here. Some turkey blood slushies. You want a turkey? You know, just put a lavaca in there, it'd be perfect. Okay, here's a neck. Those are great. I like necks. What I really like is the heart. I'm a weirdo, man. I like to eat the heart, and I like to eat all that nasty stuff they eat. I one time missed this. Like, there was a little bag full of... Oh, here it is. No, we don't need this. I don't know what this is, but we don't need it. Trying to see if there's a pack. God, it's cold in there. I don't see a little package of giblets. I missed it one year, and I was quite horrified to find that the package of giblets cooked inside. I mean, they were fine, but it was kind of weird. All right, so by the way, if you're drinking at home, and I was going to have a drink. I usually don't drink on school nights, but I thought, well, it's a holiday. It's kind of Thanksgiving Eve, so I can have a whiskey. But I'm on a ketosis diet. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've lost like about 40 pounds, maybe a little bit more, since last February. I cut out my carbs. And the way I do it is because I love carbs, and I don't want to like completely live without them. So what I do is I only eat carbs when I'm with Laura, and we spend about 3 nights a week together. And I also like to drink. But if I drank every night, I'd be 3,000 pounds. So I only allow myself to drink and eat carbs the 3 nights I'm with Laura, which are typically Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And then all the other nights, I don't drink, I don't eat any carbs, I eat nothing but meat, cheese, and eggs. And when you do that, and you don't provide new carbs for your body, it goes into ketosis, at least for me. I'm not recommending this to anybody because I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying what works for me. It's probably also going to cause me having a heart attack at some point. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to address this. Well, first I'm going to check the chat here. So I like your cleanliness when you're cooking. The neck meat has the best flavor. Yes, and I'm going to roast that along with it, and I'll probably snack on it tomorrow while I'm cooking it. And then Sean John Silver, that's a great name, Sean. I see that turkey wasn't parted by Cody. Okay, I got something to say, man. I got something to say now. I've kept my mouth shut for a very long time, and I'm not going to start talking about politics. So this is not about which president is better or whatever like that. But one thing that really kind of bothered me the other day is the White House put out this thing where, like, we got 2 turkeys, corn and cob. Pick which one should be pardoned. And they gave, like, a little bio. Now, obviously, they're not going to kill the other one. But the suggestion is that, I mean, pardon means that it's not going to be butchered and eaten, which is, great to do because, I like eating turkeys. But the idea is that we were going to present these 2 turkeys like little cartoon characters. One's named Corn, one's named Cobb, and tell you that, like, Corn likes football and Cobb likes something else, and they have personalities. And so what they're doing is they're presenting these 2 turkeys like cute little characters, and then asking you to play Sophie's Choice in which one of those 2 you identify more with and you want to spare, while the other one goes to the tree stump to be killed. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of weird, man. I don't know. There's something wrong. Like, no, I don't want to. Yes, I want to eat a turkey, and I know that an animal has to die to do that. But I don't want to like decide, like, okay, here are 2. Aren't they cute? Pick which one gets to live. In other words, which one dies. Oh, I need to wash my hands. If you're taking a drink, go ahead and take a drink every time I wash my hands. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So I just grab butter by the hand. Let's see here. There we go. Move the microphone here. All right. I just got butter. I got butter in my hand, and I'm just working it inside the cavity here. Nothing special, just kind of working that in. And then what we're going to do, every time I touch the raw meat and then have to touch something else, I've got to wash my hands. But I'm only going to wash one. Because then I'm going to take this salt here. This is a kosher salt. And I'm just going to, I'm just going to put that in there because I want it to soak through the meat from the inside as well. So there's salt and there's butter that I'm just rubbing around in the cavity there. And what that salt's going to do is it's going to help break down the meat. It's going to make it more tender. It's going to help it retain its what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to help it retain its moisture as it cooks. Now we're going to do a technique that I learned from my dad, and I would love to say that this is an old technique that my great-great-great-grandparents brought from Sweden and Germany and taught to my dad in the plains of Nebraska, but the truth is he learned it from Martha Stewart, who probably learned it in prison. Okay, so, but what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to make, we're going to melt butter with white wine, and we're going to soak this cheesecloth in it, and then we're going to cover the turkey and cook it for a half hour at 450, and then bring it down to 350. We're going to baste it every half hour. For the last hour, I'm going to peel the cheesecloth off and cook it for one more hour. And what that does, the cheesecloth that's soaked in butter, locks in all the moisture into the turkey, and so that the meat is nice and tender, but you'll get a really nice, crispy, golden skin on it. It's fabulous. Every year I do it. That's why, like I said, Laura's mom trusts her true Southern lady, trusts her Yankee carpetbagging son-in-law to do the family turkey every year. Now this is olive oil, because you know what I say, man. I love oil, man. I do. All right, so we're just, I'm really basic too. Like I don't. We're gonna do. Ooh, this. All right. I'm real basic. I don't get too crazy with the spices. I just think that less is more. So once again, I'm giving a nice coating of salt here. It's kosher salt. Let's see here. We're gonna do pepper. This pepper comes out really fast, so I gotta be really careful with that. Salt, pepper is the. And one more thing: salt, pepper, and garlic should be the backbone of everything you do. It's the backbone of everything I do. Everything has salt, pepper, almost everything. There's just maybe one or two things I don't put garlic on, but everything else, salt, pepper, garlic, you can't go wrong with it. And you can stop right there. Salt, pepper, garlic, olive oil to kind of help it cling to the meat. I'm going to put one more thing. It's my favorite spice. Whenever I do anything that's kind of, what's the word? Provincial. Like, if I can find it. Here it is. Rose. Oh no. Oh, we'll do this instead, man. This is okay. We're gonna get fancy. This is herbe de Provence. Now, what I wanted was rosemary, but this has got rosemary in it. But it's also got fennel, thyme, and lavender, and that'll do. So a little fancy, but usually at least just rosemary. All right. There you go. So I've get some of that on that neck too. Oh. Because what I'll do is that neck will get done early, and I'll be hungry, so I'll gnaw on this while the rest of it is cooking. So there you go. So what we did, we took it out of the package, we rinsed it. Take a drink if you're drinking at home. We rinsed it off. I rubbed the inside cavity with butter. Just grabbed just like a handful of butter, and just got in there and just rubbed that inside with it. Oop, there I am. God, I do not know how to be on camera. Got inside and did the cavity, rubbed that down with butter, then put salt in there and rubbed that in really well, and then put it in the roasting dish. rubbed it down with olive oil, put salt, pepper, garlic, and herbs de Provence. You can do something else. You know, I was actually looking for my rosemary by itself, but herbs de Provence is like a mix. It's got in there. You can just do salt and pepper, or just salt, pepper, garlic, or salt and pepper and basil, or parsley, whatever you think. I just think that rosemary, just, you know, anytime I like roast a chicken or a chuck roast, or that's not big enough. Oh, what a waste. Okay, come on, Cody. I just feel like the rosemary really gives it that kind of old world, folky, cottage kind of flavor to it that just, it's fabulous. So anyway, tomorrow we're gonna put this in the. I'm gonna put together a solution of butter and white wine, melted butter and white wine and garlic. I'm gonna soak this cheesecloth in it, and just so you can see what I'm doing, I'm just covering it up with aluminum foil. I keep calling it tin foil. I don't know if that's a Michigan thing or not, but because Laura says that her other friend from Michigan says aluminum or tin foil as well. And then okay, just so you can see me. And then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and I probably should have made room before I started this video. Yes, I am a bachelor, and I keep my refrigerator like a bachelor. Eggnog, man, I'm going to have that tomorrow. I would have some tonight, but I'm being good. I'm being good because I'm sticking to my diet. And the reason why is, like, we're gonna eat so much in the next couple of days. All right. And like I said, I think I'm gonna start. I'll put it in the oven. I'll probably start around 7 in the morning, but I'll put it in the oven right around 8 o'clock. So what we'll do is we're gonna melt. Let me get this so you can see me. There you go. We're gonna melt butter and white wine and soak this cheesecloth in it. Then we're gonna drape it over the turkey like a mummy. We're gonna make a mummy out of like a turkey mummy, and then I'll put it in at 450. Let it cook for a half hour. Baste it with more of the butter, white wine, garlic sauce, and then turn it down to 350, and then go another 2 hours, basting it every hour. Then we'll take the cheesecloth off, and we'll do it for another hour, interrupting it with one more basting in between, within a half hour. When we're done, what we'll have is just like this beautiful golden crispy skin and this just tender and moist meat. I think the biggest complaint people have is that their turkeys dry out. This is the way to doing it. Every time I do it, it's just lights out. And then what Laura and I do is, so we have it at Laura's parents' house, and then we take all the leftovers, or we split them up. But we have leftovers for all year round. So what Laura does is she parcels it out into little servings. And then throughout the year, we make what we call turkey pot pie, or turkey pot pie, with the turkey that I made from Thanksgiving. And in fact, we're going to do it Saturday. So here's our plan. We're going to have Thanksgiving tomorrow. Laura's going to pick me up about noon. We're going over to her parents' house, and we're going to, like, turkey down, man. We're going to turkey down. And, there's going to be food. I'm probably going to have a little bit of wine. There's going to be dessert. I'm going to eat like a maniac. We're hoping that we'll go for a nice long walk and in the afternoon. And then we're going to watch some, Netflix or whatever. And then that evening, when it's like 8 o'clock, because we're going to be stuffed from like 1 o'clock to like 8 or 9 o'clock. And when that hunger hits us, I'm going to make a homemade pizza. And then Friday, she's going to go to work for a little bit. I'm going to try to take my fiddle down to Leaper's Fork and sell some books and make some tips, maybe, because it's Black Friday. And I think Leaper's Fork's got all those little art places, and I'm hoping that people will be walking through and, like, kind of cultural kind of stuff. Like I play holiday tunes, Christmas tunes on my fiddle. And you'll be seeing that. I'll be putting some of those videos out. Trying to market the book. I'm marketing right now. I'm working on selling book 2 of my series, which is called Perils of Perryville. Now that's book 2 of the 2nd Michigan Cavalry Chronicles. If you haven't read book 1, if you follow the link, it'll take you to book 2. But you'll see right there, it'll show you how to buy book 1 if that's what you want to do. If you got anybody on your list that likes to read action and adventure, I should stop saying history because it is history. But it's also, if you're not a big history fan, it's an exciting, swashbuckling, cannon firing, black powder, adventurous. It's full of romance and intrigue. Great stuff, man. A lot of people tell me they really like the first book, but they like the second book even better. So that's out. You're going to see me pushing that a lot. I am currently working on book 3. That is going to be called Blood for Blood at Nashville. That will pick up. That's the continuation of the 3 books. That's the final of the Civil War's trilogy. And I'll tell you right now where I am. I am at about 76,000 words right now into it. And just to give you some kind of scope, the first book, Rampage on the River, is 56,000 words. Perils of Perryville at 69,000 words. I'm at 76 right now, so it's already longer than either of those books. I got done with chapter 22, and I'm halfway through chapter 23, just up today. And at the end of chapters, I try to plot out some more to see how many more chapters I'm going to need to finish the book, to finish the story, because I know what the story is and I know all the things that are supposed to happen in it. And I got it plotted out in chapters, and sometimes what's supposed to be 1 chapter ends up being 2, which is happening right now with the Battle of Tupelo. But every time I do that, it gives me an idea of just how many more chapters I need to write, how many more words, and how long it's going to take me. So as of right now, and I don't like to give, these are just rough estimates. I don't like to give myself a deadline. I need to sell a lot more copies of Rampage on the River and Perils of Perryville, really, before I worry about getting the 3rd book out. But I think the book is going to be 110,000 words, which is going to make it a pretty long book. For those of you who think in pages, it's probably going to be over, for a regular trade paperback, it's probably going to be over 400 pages. I think it's good. I think it's really good. I think it's better than the first 2 books. I think it's almost like 3 novellas. It's in 3 acts, and each act itself is almost like a short novel, and that's how I'm approaching it too. And there was a temptation, like, well, what if I just broke this up and made it into 3 short novels? But the whole thing needs to be one big epic story. So that's what's going on. 110,000 words probably. Who knows? It could be less, could be more. Right now, giving myself a generous amount of time, I think I will probably be done writing it May 1st, or April 1st, and having it out in June 1st. I could be doing it a lot sooner. We don't know. Originally, I wanted it out by now, but I didn't realize it was going to be twice as long as my first book. But I'll tell you this, I'm not screwing around. Like, I keep track of my progress and compare it to the progress I made on each of my books. So I keep a spreadsheet of the first, second, third, all the way through 20 months of each book, of where I was in word count. And I also keep track of my monthly average of how many words I write a month for all 3 books. But also I break it down for what was my average during Rampage on the River, what was my average during Perils, and what is my average during Blood for Blood. I will say this, that my average is higher than it was for the first 2 books. If you look at my spreadsheet, you can see month by month. There was Perils of Perryville got off to a really great start, but then I idled a little bit in the middle of it. Rampage on the River was kind of a steady thing. This book right here, I think I'm performing better than the first two books as far as how quickly I'm writing. It's just so much bigger, and it requires a lot of research. I mean, just for these two chapters, I had to read multiple um, sources. One book I'm reading the entire thing. I'm speed reading it at night just to get through that battle. So there's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. I'm kind of excited because I'm almost done with Act 2, and I'll be starting Act 3. And Act 3 will be dealing with the Nashville campaign, which is upon us because the Franklin Nashville. Well, the Battle of Franklin is November 30th, and so that's going to be this Monday, the anniversary. And I was part of the anniversary last year. I went out there, played my fiddle, played Civil War stuff on my fiddle, and participated in some of the ceremonies. It was a great time. I don't think they're going to do it this year because of COVID. So, but I want to try to go out there and see if I can make some kind of noise, if it's not snowing or whatever, because it might snow next week. And then, December 15th is the anniversary of the Battle of Nashville, and Nashville never really does anything about that either. But I'm hoping to have Act 1, Act 2 done so that I can be kind of in the midst of studying and researching those battles as we're crossing the anniversaries. So that's it. I'm going to go through the chat here. Let's see if I missed anything. I see that turkey wasn't pardoned by Cody. No, I did not. I condemned it to my belly. Sean, cavity searching that turkey, Cody. I'm surprised you would do such a thing to violate a dead bird. Well, I mean, the bird's dead, so let's not waste it, right? I don't want the bird to die for nothing. Annette Tidwell, did you check the neck end of the turkey for the bag of giblets? That's probably where it is because I missed it last time. I will check that in the morning. Annette, thank you. Let's see. Sean John Silver. I used to give the giblets and the neck to my pet rats when I had them and lived in Clarksville, Tennessee. They loved it. I think those are pests, not pets. I think you missed an S in there, Sean. Bam! Sean John Silver, you rub that turkey the right way because it's a genie in a bottle. It is. And it's magic when I make it this way. Suzanne and Mark Thomas. Hey, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Hey, same to you. Sean John Silver, once again, my Texans, your Lions should be pointless game for both of us. You're absolutely right. It's a Michigan, it's a Detroit Thanksgiving ritual. We get to watch our team get humiliated on national television. Sean, your books would make a great movie. Yes, they would make a great movie. I would love that to happen. I'm optimistic that maybe someday it will. I think it would be great is once I'm rich and famous and can afford it. I don't want to do it on the cheap, but I would also like to have them converted into graphic novels. And I would hire like a comic writer. I would be overseeing the project, but I'd get a professional writer to take my book and put it in comic book form and get, a really good penciler and inker and colorist and letterer to do it. I think it'd be great because, my books are for adults, but I think, I would say that, you gotta, well, I've seen parents buy them for young kids, and there's some swearing in it, but not gratuitous swearing. I only use swearing like when the bullets are flying and people are kind of like freaking out. And there are some suggestive scenes, but I'm never very overt about it. I would say it's a rated R, PG-13 to rated R. If you got a mature kid that's 12 years old, I think it's fine. I mean, I was reading stuff like this or worse when I was 12. Anyway, that's it. If you haven't checked out my book, check it out. The link's in the description. If you haven't read, now I'm pushing book 2. If you haven't read book 1, no problem. If you go to that link for book 2, it'll show you, people bought this, also bought this. Click on my name on Amazon. It has all 4 of my books there. The first book is Rampage on the River, and my marketing idea is that there's two philosophies. One is I could keep pushing the first book, which is great because you get people into the funnel, and hopefully they read the first book and then they go buy the second book. I've been marketing the second book because there are people who read the first book. I don't know if everybody who read the first book has read the second one. And my feeling is, if I get you excited about the second one, and you go look, and it says right there that this is the second book, then you're like, oh, this is the sequel. I'll buy the first book. And here's another thing too. I write every single one of my books to be. You can read it by itself if you haven't read the other ones. I suggest that you do read the other ones, but you won't be lost. I'd actually be curious to talk to somebody who just read Perils and didn't read Rampage to see how well they interpreted what was happening. But I wrote Perils for people who may not have read Rampage. But anyway, I'm starving. I'm exhausted. I'm blabbering. I don't know if I'll go live tomorrow, but at least you got how to prep the turkey. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Oh, by the way, my friend Lloyd is on there. He just released his first book on Sunday. I helped him with kind of navigating how you do that through Amazon. And it's called The Spaces in Between the Spaces. And if you like horror and science fiction and you want to take a break from muskets and swords, I recommend it. He's in the chat, so you can just look at his profile. And if you go to my literary group, which is called Engdahl House of Readers and Writers, you can see the links to his books there as well, as well as other people. Some that I know. Sometimes if something just looks interesting, I'll put it up there. Or sometimes there are people that are actually friends of mine who are also authors that I'm promoting their work. Anyway, have a safe and great Thanksgiving, everybody. I think things are going to be better for all of us. And I may or may not go live tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know if I want you guys to see me unshaven and haggard looking. Okay, and yeah, Sean says I still. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Sean says, yeah, I was watching Weather Channel, Clarksville, Tennessee. I could see if you several inches. I still need to get you. Yes, you do, Sean. You need to get my second book. I don't mind the talk you're doing. Thank you very much, Joyce. Happy Thanksgiving, Sean. Get the second book. Take a picture of it and send it to me so I can use it in my marketing. All right, I love you guys. Take care. Happy Thanksgiving.